I've had this mic forever, so I thought I'd give it a little. I don't know anything about this technology stuff, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because I'm bored. My plan to go OTR was made because I was sick and tired of being dependent on other people to support me, take care of me. So I wanted to do it by myself. And the plan was to come out here and just save so I can accumulate enough funds to establish a foundation that's going to allow me to become independent and on my own. I want that more than anything. My dream is to have my own bed, my own restroom, my own, and nobody has a say on how I live my life. If I want to barbecue, I can. If I want to exercise, I can. If I want to listen to opera, I can. If I want to have a weekend and learn jujitsu, that would be the day I realized that I fucking did it. But anyway, to get here took a crazy experience. I wanted to share with you guys how it used to be because I entered the workforce trying to get my CDL, and I did. I know I talk a lot about a guy named Prince Charming. He was a son of a bitch. Gosh, I didn't give two shits when I rolled up. Excuse my language, okay? I'm not the girliest girl on the planet. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. I got bored and wanted to share a little bit of my story. It's a crazy one. I rolled up to this job, right, with the mindset of doing my best. And nothing short of that, because it's just the way I lived my life. And rolled up to there. On my first day, I was sitting down, filling out all this paperwork, and I saw this guy who would be Prince Charming, and I could already tell that he was very confident because he would look like straight at me. He wouldn't look straight at me, but like in my peripheral vision, I could see somebody who was very confident, stood firm. It wasn't like a floating kind of stance. It wasn't like a stance where somebody would be, looking like that. It was a stance like broad shoulders, very firm. He seemed very confident, like I said. But I wasn't excited to meet anybody. I was excited to get the job done. I was focused on what I needed to do, blah, blah, blah. And Prince Charming did a lot of tests because he was very observant, like really paid a lot of attention to me, and I didn't give two shits about this guy. But I think that's why he paid so much attention to me, because had I been like desperate for friends, he was looking for that, failed. Because I remember this one day, I'm going to share it with you. I was sweeping. We had one of those big brooms that turned like that. I never used one before. And let me tell you about who was there. I saw him. I saw a bunch of like guys that looked the same. And then another guy stood out who was really old, had glasses and a hat. And then the other guy that stood out was my boss. He had a white shirt. He looked like a security guard, but he was everybody's boss. He told us all what to do. He reminded me of he looked like my uncle, like a security guard, So that day I was sweeping, I could see him sitting down on the table with his friends or my coworkers, not doing shit. So in my head, I was thinking, I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to stand out, not for like attention, but as a work ethic. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the best job, even if it's sweeping floors, anything, because that's who I'm going to be here. And I did that. So he was sitting there with his friends, and I was sweeping. And he said something. I didn't really pay attention. So I just kept doing me, and he mocked me. He told me, "Oh, I don't need friends. I'm independent. I don't need friends." And I was thinking like, shh, leave me alone, right? That's all I was thinking. Leave me alone. So the days go by, and I didn't pay any attention to him. The relationship that I ended up having with my coworkers, all I wanted was like a business. Like you do your job, I do my job. If you need help, I help you. If I need help, you help me. But it wasn't like that. It was, let's talk shit to her and give her a hard time. And what they didn't know about me is that I've come through the trenches. I came out of a lot of shit. So everything that they were doing to me, it was new, but it wasn't new at the same time. It was a new environment, new whatever. But they don't know who I am. So I was thinking like, they're testing me. They're giving me a hard time, which was pretty, I don't think it was pretty cool, but sometimes in the military, and I'm not from the military, but I heard that when they give you a hard time, it means that, you're like one of them or whatever. So I was just there for the job, like I said. And I stayed very genuine. I stayed very wholesome, good attitude, all that. We would go out to these job sites. This was in the beginning, because towards the end, it got really, really bad. But I would like to say what I did wrong. I would like to say why they didn't like me. And they didn't like me because I wasn't easy to fuck with. Well, they could fuck with me. Excuse me. This is how it was, okay? It's really hard to explain. But they really wanted to get me beat. They really wanted to defeat me. But they couldn't defeat me because as I went about my day and did my job the best I could, it was a good job. And that's what I had to have my back. That's what I had on my side, was my work ethic. Because they would watch me, right? There's Prince Charming, that ugly ass kid. I'm going to call him the executioner. The Virgil, I'll call him Crazy Legs. Pablo. I think that's about it. About 5 or 6 of us. Oh, about 7 of us. They would disassemble TVs. They would disassemble stuff, but they were just like not giving it 100%. And because I worked so hard and took pride in what I did, what they ended up doing was becoming friends. Like I was their glue. They chose to pick on me because it brought them together. It brought them entertainment. It brought them closer together because I was the one that they didn't like. Anyway, they ended up taking my tips all the time. And I had a feeling they were doing that because as each day would go on, it just felt like a bad feeling. I would get a bad feeling, but it's a feeling I never want to wish on anybody. But I took it and I accepted it. I accepted them taking my tips because that's not where I was going to stay. I think they didn't like me too because I had goals. I had a vision. I had a great attitude. And they didn't like that because they were into like drugs and I didn't want to do anything with them. I didn't want to have, I don't want to say I thought I was better than them, but I don't want to talk about drugs. I don't want to talk about, hoes and parties. It's not me. You talk about that amongst yourselves and I'm going to be over here sweeping the floor or making crates or whatever. Anyway, they were taking my tips and my best friend, Robert, but my best friend came up to me and he told me, "Here you go, Sheila." And he gave me $20. I said, What's this for? He said, "Don't worry about it. Here, just take it." And I already knew that he's giving me money because they took my tip. And he gets paid more than I do, so he was giving it to me. I said, "You know what? Just keep it." I said, "You earned it. You worked for it. You keep it." I said, this is not where I'm going to stay. It doesn't bother me that they did this. They could do whatever they want. It's their choice. They chose to do that. They don't want to pay me. They don't have to pay me. Because they're just being mean, right? Plus, it was really weird. Because this was all Prince Charming's doing. This was all his idea. Because he wanted credit with the guys, right? But sometimes he would come up to me and give me stuff. He would steal a lot. He would go through people's mailboxes, steal their information, and he was an identity theft person. And when he would go through their mailboxes, they would often have like vitamins, or he gave me a pair of yoga pants one time, and I never accepted it. Never accepted anything. I said, "Did you steal this?" And he would like, "Don't worry about it, whatever." I'm like, I'm not accepting any of this. But on my birthday, he gave me a book. I really love jazz. I like Boney James. I love, there's a song by Kool and the Gang called Summertime. There's another one called Cantaloupe Island or something like that. I love a lot of jazz. So he gave me a history book on jazz, and I thought it was really cool, right? So I accepted that. But I really want to say this. Even though I did not like Prince Charming, he had his moments. He had his moments where he was pretty kind, and I still don't understand why he was the way he was, but I did ask him. He had some friends, a husband and a wife who were millionaires. They lived on a beautiful side of town, and they needed some side work done to their home. They needed some string lights hung. They needed a treadmill rebanded. It was kind of broken, so we were there working on that. They needed a bedroom moved. I had spicy ramen in it. My boogers are coming down. Anyway, we were working hard, and he wasn't mean. He was pretty respectful. Paid me. He did something that was so... there's no change in this guy. We went to Lowe's or Home Depot. Now, this could just be a story. I'm not trying to incriminate anybody, but he's in jail anyway. But we went to Home Depot or Lowe's or something, and he purchased a toolkit. Well, he used it, but then we go back to the store, and he turned it in. I was so... that guy showed me stuff I can't ever get off my mind. But he did do me a huge favor. He exposed bad stuff about the world to me by his example. Because everything that he did was just rotten, scummy, terrible to people he's never met before. So it kind of gave me an insight of how really bad the world is, or how people kind of steal and stuff. I mean, it's really bad. Anyway, he turns in that toolkit, and we go eat something at like some kind of pizzeria. It was like an Italian small joint. They sold like beer and wine, and I had like some kind of like he had a pizza, and I had like some chicken parmesan stuff, and I had like some white wine or something like that, and he had a cold beer. So we're drinking our drinks, laughing and stuff, and then I had a few in me, right? Well, not a few in me. I had the glass of wine, and I asked him. I took a deep breath, and I had like liquid courage. I asked him. I said, "Why do you do the things that you do? And you're capable of..." Because he was very intelligent. Some people out there are so intelligent, but they take the wrong direction, and they're intelligent in bad ways instead of like productive ways that it's going to make the world a better place. He went the other way, but he mastered that craft for sure. So I asked him, are you ever going to stop? Are you ever just going to be like normal? I told him, you deserve it. You deserve a happy, healthy life. I said, you don't need to be doing all this. And he was quiet. and I could see his eyes water like he was gonna cry. And he cleared his throat and he said, "This is why I don't fucking drink." He really did deserve a good life, but because life's been cruel to him, he was cruel back. And when he would do the things that he did, it was really, really bad. But anyway, I did all the shit work. What I did was operate a forklift, operated a scissor lift. They would draw dicks on my scissor lift because it had a lot of dust on it. Boss had tiers of data storage for pediatricians, lawyers, all kinds of businesses. But what they were doing were transitioning those files digitally. Like everything was going into a computer database. So those files were no longer needed. And there was just like thousands of these boxes, 9 tiers high. So I would use the scissor lift to get these boxes down to be either destroyed or delivered. I would deliver them throughout town. Nobody would do that except for me. And it was hard work. My hands would get cut up, numb. These boxes ranged probably from 25 to 100 pounds each, maybe 75 pounds. But when you're doing that shit over and over, it's a good workout. So what I would do is, actually didn't mind doing all that hard work because it kept me away from the boys. The boys would sit down, shoot the shit. I mean, just chill all day. And I couldn't because I had like some weight to lift. I had some shit to do because I'm the girl, I'm the weakest link. So I had to stay busy. But I didn't mind because it got me away from them. I don't want to be around them. I would put on some heavy metal and just get to work. Boom, boom, boom. And I would be so dirty. I would be so dirty, so tired. And I would go into the office and boss would laugh at me. Boss was cool sometimes, but I mean, not the best boss I've ever had. He would look at me and he would say, "You look like you've been mining coal." And I looked like I had like raccoon eyes because I had glasses and all the dust would hit me. And Prince Charming would say, "You know, that's not dust, right?" I'm like, "I don't care. I don't even I don't even care." He said, "This is a collection of old people's dead skin or people's dead skin." I was like, "Oh man, this giving me a hard time, right?" But I knew that was just a stepping stone. I ended up staying there longer than I should have because I was trying to accumulate CDL experience. I worked there for about a year and 10 months. He had me there for about a year before I even got my CDL. So I was there almost 2 years. Only managed to accumulate 10 months worth of experience before I had to go because it was just getting so bad. I mean, me and Prince Charming just did not get along. I think it's because he was trying to sleep with me. I didn't reciprocate. He wasn't attractive. He was hot, okay? He had muscle. He was like a football player. But he was just not a good guy. If he did better in his life, maybe I would consider. But since he was just grimy, I wasn't attracted to him. But he was a hot guy. Beautiful smile. But it was just like, there was these hoes, right, that worked with us. They were called packers. They would pack up things in boxes, label the boxes, and then I would go with the dolly, pick up the boxes, and then put them inside of a truck or a container or something. And this hoe was in one of the apartments that we were working on. I don't like to talk to anybody. I just want to go in, do my inventory, do this, do that, and whatever, right? I'll smile, I'll look around, whatever, but I'm not your friend and you're not my friend, right? Like, I don't talk to anybody. Anyway, tension, lots and lots of tension. One of the main packing ladies who had been there for years mentioned Prince Charming, and the hoe was like, "Oh, That's daddy right there. She said it like she was trying to make me mad or whatever. But shit, y'all are like two peas in the pod. Why would I give a shit if you're messing around with Prince Charming? I don't care. But she was trying to get me upset, but I didn't get upset. I thought it was pretty funny, to be honest with you. So I get out of there, and shit like that was just happening all the time. I would love nothing more than to just go to that job every day. Go to the back, pick data storage all damn day. I'd rather do data storage on my scissor lift than have to do any of that with anybody, because it just wasn't fun. It was fun when my best friend was around, because he had a similar work ethic like I did. You know how they say birds of a feather flock together? There was a shitload of these people who didn't care about others, who didn't care about the job that they did. I wish you guys knew how bad it really was. But I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad I saw them do what they were doing, because it made me really scared. But at least I found out that way instead of like it being done to me, you know. This new guy comes in, right? I'm gonna say his name. His name was Mikey. Mikey comes up to me and was pretty cool. He was pretty cool. We ended up becoming kind of close, shooting the shit, laughing. He was pretty fun. But you know what the guys did? The guys saw that me and Mikey were pretty cool, so they ganged up on Mikey. And Mikey comes up to me and he tells me, "You know I can't be your friend anymore, right?" I said, "Yes, I know." He's like, "Yeah, so in order for me to survive here, I gotta let you go." And I'm like, "You're cool. You're all right. I completely understand." So Mikey became their friend, and I was still the oddball out. I didn't mind. It would be my position throughout the entire time. But it became physical. Me and Prince Charming were fighting physically. And it's because I got tired of it. You know, he was like manhandling me. There was no HR. There was no benefits at this job. The only thing that was there that I gave a shit about was my CDL experience, because I was operating a day cab flatbed, but I had to get the fuck out of there anyway. Might as well get out of there with a bang, right? Show them who the fuck I am. But I'll share this one story. There is a guy there, cute, young, real younger than me, but just cute. He looked like Aladdin from the action film Aladdin. Hottie. I would never be with him, but he was really cute. He would help me out a lot. What I loved about him was that he didn't care about what anybody thought. I like that about somebody. When people care about what others think about them, I'm like, dude, just grow some thick skin and get over whatever it is that they're feeling about you and continue on with what you think. So anyway, Aladdin's been there for a while, and he's pretty much established the fact that he's running his own show. He does what he wants to do, and nobody's going to influence him, right? And he held his own too. Like, he could talk shit. He wasn't like a wimp or anything. So we were there. We had a big job to do. It was about 17,000 pounds of some military home goods that we were supposed to be containerizing. And what we do is wrap blankets, TVs, chest of drawers, all this shit in sheets and tape. And we put them in these containers to be shipped overseas. So we were doing that, and Prince Charming was giving me a hard time, right? And I was wrapping a sofa. We each had our own container, so we were wrapping shit and putting it in our own containers. It wasn't just like random. We each had our own. So anyway, I'm wrapping this sofa, and what we usually do is we use a dolly to gain leverage for big items, and then put it inside of the the container. But when you have a sofa that's like with a bed in it, I forgot what they call it, a Feta bed or something like that. They're a lot heavier, so you just need an extra helping hand, right? Even the strongest dude there would need help sometimes. So I said, "Hey Aladdin, can you?" I was trying to piss off Prince Charming too, because he was helping Prince Charming and I was by myself, because he was giving me a hard time, right? I'm only human, right? So to piss off Prince Charming, I called Aladdin and I said, "Hey Aladdin, can you come help me, please?" And then Prince Charming tells him, "Nuh-uh, you're not gonna go help her. You're gonna stay here. Let her fucking do it herself," or something like that. And Aladdin looked at me and then he looked at him like I'm gonna go help her. And he goes, fine, go help her. So he comes and he helps me with the couch. I said, "Thank you, Aladdin." Trying to piss this guy off, and it worked, because we were just like back and forth trying to piss each other off. We did it. Prince Charming yells at me and he says, "Hey Sheila, throw me a piece of tape." I looked around. I said, "You want a piece of tape, motherfucker?" So I grabbed an empty roll and I threw it. I said, "Here's your tape." I threw it and it caught wind because it was empty. And mid-flight on that tape, he goes, "Hey, it's empty." And it like flew away. I started laughing. Ha 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 ha. Get your own fucking tape, right? The couch that he was wrapping, he put it in my container. I said, "Thank you. You're so sweet." So the couch, there were so many couches there that day. It was a little love seat. After I wrapped it, I put it in his container because all the other ones were full. I mean, I wasn't trying to piss him off or anything, but him putting that couch in my container filled it up. And this furniture has to get put somewhere. It's going to have to go in anyway. So I put it in his because his had enough room for the couch that he was doing, but, I put it in his. He said, "You're not putting that couch in my container." I said, "Watch me." So I put it in and he brings it out. I picked it up with my bare hands and with leverage, I scooted it into the container. When I did that, we were just like back and forth fighting with this damn couch. And he pushed me hard on the ground and I got up and I swept his leg and we were like, deep breath, like just expelling so much frustration, expelling so much hate. I was thinking to myself, I fucking hate it here. I'm tired of this. I'm done. We had to even tarp the flatbed. We had to tarp the container sometimes. And it was just getting worse and worse and worse. Not just with him, but with the other guys too. And I knew I had to leave. So that's when I was being a bitch. I was being, because I didn't like it. I didn't like it there. But that's how bad it got. I just wanted to share some crazy stories about where I come from and how it used to be. I'm no saint, but they did give me a hard time. So why should I be bending over and taking it all the time? They need to take a little bit too. But then again, I learned about like Black history and stuff. Rosa Parks. How do you stand up for what your convictions are, but not become the bad guy? Like so I'll run into a lot of Karens. Karens hate me for some reason. But Karens love to play the victim. They're the main corporate of the drama, of the frustrations. They like to push hate on others if you're a minority, a person of color. And this is just the truth. But I bring up Black history because there's a book I read called he was the first Black professional baseball player. I forgot his name. But he had to have something very, very special. He had to have something that, because his coach came up to him and said, "Are you willing and prepared to go through some shit?" And he said yes. So no matter how many times he got the hate, he still maintained his composure, his cool. He would take it. That's who I want to be. I want to be somebody who could take some bullshit, but have a different type of channel in my mind. But it's so hard to comprehend the amount of strength or calloused emotions. How do you get that? I know I have to detach, right? From stupidity, I have to detach. But the only way that I could get through shit like that is if I lift weights. I have to use all of that pent up fuel, take it out on my workout, just to drain that shit. That's just, it's real. It's real. To be honest, OTR is hard. It's hard because you come across a lot of bullshit. And people are like, DOT this, regulations that. That is not where all the frustration's coming from. The frustrations are coming from each other. The piss bottles in the fuel island. People just, like one time I was parked and I was listening to music and I was cooking my food. This truck driver comes and parks so close to me. I don't see anything wrong with parking your truck and then evening it out between the two solid lines. But this guy parks next to me so close. I'm thinking, because it was like a tight area. It was the Flying J after Houston on 59? Some interstate going north. But it's a tight one. Construction's there. So I was thinking, how am I going to get out? Because my trailer swing might hit him. So what I did was I got in the passenger seat. I didn't even want to talk to him. I'm afraid to talk to people because they get so angry. So what I ended up doing was fixing it myself. Like I got out and I scooted over to the left so I could clear when I get out. Well, he ended up leaving. So I got back in the driver's seat and I fixed it back. But shit like that, we do not have each other's back at all. Sometimes you come across a driver and it's just awesome. The brotherhood's there. So it all depends on who the individual is. But I mean, it's not all peaches and cream out here because we don't treat each other very nice. We're not courteous with our trash, with like one time I was gonna come out to get a shower and I couldn't find that screen. I was at a TA and the lady giving me the receipt didn't write down the shower number. So I was looking for the screen and I popped my head inside of like the driver's lounge and there was 4 dudes there who just got up like monkeys with excitement, woo-hoo, ha-ha, just because they see a girl. And I was tirada, I was dirty, I had my cap on, I needed a shower. But they got up like wild animals and I was like, oh shit, like I got scared and I was just looking for the screen. They come out like not ganging up on me, but I was like, holy shit. So I ran downstairs. I didn't run, but I was like nervous. Ran downstairs. I told the lady, I can't find the screen. And she wrote down the shower stall number. I had to go back up the stairs, and I did. And these guys were like hovering over me, trying to look at the numbers, right? So I put my hand in my pocket, and I pulled out my stiletto. I looked around like, y'all are gonna really look at me right now? So they started to like one by one disappear. So I put my stiletto back in, and I put the numbers. Even the guy working there was with these guys, like monkeys, like animals. So I take my shower. I had to put a towel underneath the door because I was afraid these assholes were gonna like record me or something. It's not good out here sometimes. It gets really bad sometimes. So there's lots and lots of stories I have out here where it makes me think like, is there anything that I could do that's just gonna be 100% something that I love doing which I love trucking. It's just this little shit. I feel like it's harder for women to be trucking than it is for men. But does that mean that chicks shouldn't be drivers? That's not true. Those guys shouldn't be like that. They should be courteous. That's who truck drivers really are. They're professionals. They're people. And I understand I'm a little rough around the edges, right? But I would never do something like that. So I'm going to cut this off. It's been 40 fucking minutes. It's a long time. But I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for listening to me rant.